friends, I'm just popping in here for a quick little intro before we jump into it. It's not quite time to start our 24-hour reading challenge because we are doing it, but I want to be able to start right on time, so I'm pre-filming this intro because let's just say it's going to be an early, well, it's actually not. Back up. Me and one of my friends, Teresa, in my D&D group, we're talking about doing a 24-hour reading challenge, and we opened it up to the other girls in our little group. So me, Teresa, Siobhan, and Amber are for sure locked in. We might be having some drop-bys by Shanna and Maria, and we may be also throwing in some clips from them. Some of them said they will film, some of them said they're not sure. We will see where the wind takes us, but if so, we will throw in their intros of what they plan to read right after this. But we are planning a 24-hour reading challenge. We're going to do it via video on Discord because it's not as fun to do it on your lonesome. And I have quite the TBR for today's video. Here we go. I have here 6 books. Do I think I'm going to get through all 6 of them? There is a chance. I'm going to try, but I'm going to structure this with like a real book and then like, not like a fake book. Books aren't fake, but you know what I mean? We're gonna really sandwich this. So my thoughts and feelings, I have 3 like regular adult novels. I'm not gonna go over what they're about right now because I don't know what I'm actually gonna get to, and I don't want to waste anybody's time because I fear this video is going to be long. So I have these 3 adult novels as possible books to read. We've got Coach by Devaney Perry. This is a sports romance. We've got Phantom Limb by Lucinda. This is a psychological thriller that my friend Tracy's been telling me I need to get to. And then we've got Queen Move by Kennedy Ryan. This is book 3 in a series that I am obsessed with. Then we have some easy to get through books. We have got the 3rd installment of the Hunter x Hunter manga. And then I have been, you know, I've restarted a Harry Potter read through, which, preface, fuck J.K. Rowling, but I have been starting was trying to do a reread situation. And what the fuck is this? Oh. And I've reread now book 1 twice and have not moved forward. So I figured in between books we could do Chamber of Secrets and Prisoner of Azkaban, because this is like where the books stop being short before they get really fucking long. So that's my tentative TBR for this video. Things might change. We don't know, but this is where we're gonna start, and I'm excited to see if we can accomplish this. I've tried this once before and it went badly, so we're gonna try again together, friends. Hello, friends. It is 8 a.m. almost 2 minutes until 8 a.m., which means we are 2 minutes away from starting our 24-hour reading challenge. Am I set up for success? The answer is no, I am not, because I didn't get home last night till 11:45, which means I did not go to bed till close to 1 in the morning because I had to eat and whatever, blah, 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 blah. So, unfortunately, here we are in life. But the girlies are up, the girlies are ready, and we have decided on a buddy read during this reading challenge. I also do think an energy drink will be busted out later this evening, but for now we're gonna go with the Diet Coke, and we're all reading this it's called Hallowpeen. It is a sentient object Halloween book romance. So do I think this is gonna be good? God, no. Not a chance in hell is this gonna be good, but we're gonna read it. And then I do have a skip the line audio for this one book that I am interested in listening to. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of work today. It's called Pretty Dead Things, so I'm gonna hopefully listening to that too. But I'm gonna go hop on and I'll check in with you guys when I finish Hallowpeen, and I'll let you know what time we're at. we're about an hour in to the 24-hour reading challenge, and I just finished Hallowpeen, and oh my god, what a wild way to start this challenge. This book is about this friend group, and it's Halloween, and they're telling spooky stories when this random person nobody knows named Claudia shows up, and she starts telling them this story of the Hallowpeen, and how if you say, you know, she tells, you know, you tell people to spell I-cup, and they're like, yeah, I-C-U-P. She's like, if you say I-C-U-P 3 times, the Hallowpeen show up. So they have Asha go and do it because basically Claudia's best friend Samantha got taken by the Hallopeens 5 years ago. So Asha does it, and she goes into the sentient world where these 3, like as tall as the ceiling pumpkin men show up, and they just start having an orgy. That's truly what happens. And then there's this part too where like there's this man candy dude where if you leave candy in the dish, he's gonna come for you. And the girl who's throwing the party, I don't know why I can't think of her name all of a sudden, but anywho, the girl throwing the party leaves the candy there, and then the man candy shows up, and oh, that's actually a good thing because he starts fucking her, and that's the ticket to getting her friends back from the other side, is you have to pay for passage from the man candy. So she does that, and then her friends come, and now she's just kind of like fucking this man candy to get like passes back and forth between the sentient world and the regular world for her friends to go back and visit their Hallopeens. We refer to balls as acorns, penises as butternut squashes, and everything else is being referred to as their pumpkin seed that is in a pumpkin spice froth. Disturbing. I'm unwell about it. I do think I'm gonna give it 2 stars over 1 star because it was really fucking funny. I don't know if Holly Wilde is trying to be funny, but it was in fact hilarious, and I was LOLing multiple times. So I feel like because of that, I'm gonna give it 2 stars. And I think I might move into Queen Move by Kennedy Ryan next because I fear I need something with a bit of brain cells after that scenario, because that was something else. Okay friends, I am about 1/4 of the way through Queen Move. I was gonna wait to come talk to you guys when I was about halfway through, but my husband so kindly just brought me lunch, so we're gonna talk about this now. So this book is about Kimba, who is best friends with Lennox from the other couple of books. In this book, we start out with the prologue, which is 2 years before present time, and we're at Kimba's dad's funeral, where this guy Ezra, who we don't really know anything about, shows up, and it's kind of like this blast from the past. However, she sees he's there with his kid and a woman, and she just kind of brushes him away. Then we get the past timeline of Kimba's mom, and her mom and Ezra's mom becoming friends, living across the street from each other, and she and Ezra are babies. They have the same birthday, and their families really start to get along. Then we're following through Kimba's childhood of her and Ezra growing up together. Ezra comes from this family where like his mom is white and his dad is black, and during this time period he was very much judged in the 80s and as being not black enough, not white enough, not really having any community. On top of that, his mother is Jewish and is taking him to the synagogue where he is being heavily bullied by the other kids there for not fitting in. We go through this couple of years of their childhood of them becoming close, admitting feelings for each other when they're like in middle school, having their first kiss, and then his family and her family have some sort of disagreement, and his family moves out of Atlanta to New York. Back to the present time period now, and Kimba is working in social media, or is working in government like she is in the other books, and she is going to be presenting some awards for like her family's. You're not supposed to. I'm recording my video. No, you're fine. So she is working for like the government. She just helped elect the president, which we learn about in the other book, and then now she is going to be presenting these rewards for her family's foundation and all of these things. And little does she know that Ezra is one of the people who's going to get the award. Ezra and his baby mama just recently broke up, and now he's a free man. So we're gonna see where that goes. My husband did just go and get my car inspected, and because like the car inspection is only $11 and the registration is like $75, I'm like, can you go get me lunch? And he did. So he picked me up Lane's chicken. I got a wrap and some fries, and I'm gonna keep reading my book, and I will check in with you guys when I have something further to say. I have finished Queen Move, but I do fear I don't really have anything overly kind to say about this book. I'm giving it 3 stars, so it wasn't like god awful, but this book really, like, I struggled with it because it's that type of, first off, there was like a reveal in the second half that like I literally saw coming from like 20% into the book, like deeply unsurprised by any of it. So if anybody was surprised, I'm not really sure how. But I struggle with second chance romance because I always feel like the relationship is really rushed, and they never really even had much of a relationship. So Ezra and Kimba, they knew each other when they were like 0 to 13 years old. And when they were 13 at a school dance, they had their first kiss. And literally they decided they were gonna like be boyfriend and girlfriend. And the next day his family moved back to New York for the summer and then proceeded to move to Italy. And they've not seen each other. They're now 37. So they've not seen each other or spoken to each other literally in all these years, besides 2 years ago at Kimba's dad's funeral for like 5 minutes. So now that they're back in each other's lives, like he and his 10-year-long relationship of, he calls her Aiko, A-I-K-O, they just split up. They've been together for 10 years. They have a 5-year-old, and, maybe, no, he's definitely older, like a 10-year-old, because I think they got pregnant 5 months into their relationship. So they have like a 10-year-old, and they've just broken up. She's on this like Serengeti safari for work where she's hooking up with this guy Chaz, and he and Kimba start hooking up. They have sex one time and he's like, I want to be with you forever, like you're gonna be my last. And like, I'm so sorry, I don't care if you knew each other from 0 to 13, you've not seen each other from 13 to 37, you don't know each other, you guys are strangers. That just, no. And so then this situation happens where like Kimba's dealing with like perimenopause, like going through menopause pretty early, and like he's like, oh, we can have a baby whenever you, like, my dude, you don't know her. And so the whole like, they don't, like this book didn't, I feel like this whole series was fine with the first 2 books. This feels very like heavy-handed and forced, and like maybe people wanted Kimba's story, so she wrote Kimba's story, but I don't think this was necessary, and I don't really think it was that good. I'm giving it 3 stars because I liked getting to see Lennox and like that part of the story, but like their relationship, I didn't really believe in it. I do have a little bit of work that I do have to get done today, so I have an audiobook that I have a skip the line copy for. It is for Pretty Dead Things. I don't remember who it's by, Kelsey something maybe, but I'm gonna get started on that audio. It is like a thriller book about like a beauty pageant, I think. So we're gonna see how that goes. But we've got 2 books down, a 2-star and a 3-star, which means it's not going great. We would like some better vibes, so here's to hoping this one does it for me. Okay, y'all, I'm about halfway through Pretty Dead Things, and unfortunately, this is not going very well. It's feeling kind of like a 2. It is much more just like a mystery than having anything remotely thrilling. So in this book, we're following so many characters, because we're following like these 3 parents along with like these girls in this beauty pageant scenario. And it's just like a lot. So this is taking place in Texas, and we're following this, it's called the Lone Star Princess pageant. And there is this girl named Isabel who went missing and died, presumed to die. I don't think they ever found her body, and she was a pageant girl. And now her like long lost twin sister Ingrid is like back in town and is because construction crews are beginning to dig up this ranch, which is where she thinks she may be. And then we're following this woman named Melanie, we're following Kat, we're following Sarah Lynn. And Sarah Lynn comes from like this long line of pageant winners, and she works with this girl named Hannah. And Hannah is not like your stereotypical beauty queen, but Sarah Lynn is trying to get Hannah to be a pageant queen. And so there's all of these like old resentments between like Kat, Melanie, and Sarah Lynn, and all of their rivalries from the past, as well as trying to figure out what happened to Isabel all of these years ago. And like the description says, when old resentments and new confrontations reach their boiling point, temperatures drop to deadly degrees as a record-setting storm brings down the state's power grid. With everyone trapped under one roof, scores will be settled and more than one person will end up dead. Some secrets are better left unburied. It's giving me the same kind of feelings that I had when I read In My Dreams I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead, or like Every Last Fear by Alex Finley. Like books where we're following just like so many people. Because it's like we have these different point of views, but then all of those point of views have like their children, and I'm a little bit lost in the sauce, and overall it's feeling like a 2-star, which is very, my phone, very devastating, because we have 3 stars is our highest rating so far. I do think after this I'm going to go into the manga that I have, the One Hunter x Hunter manga, because I need something I know is going to be 5 stars, because I'm very over it. And I do think the last time I attempted a 24-hour reading challenge, every book I read sucked ass too, so. Okay, y'all, I finished Pretty Dead Things, and I hated it. I ended up giving it 2 stars. It just truly felt so much like In My Dreams I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead, and I hated that book, where you're just following too many people. And do you ever have like a 2-3 star read where like you don't like, there's nothing incredibly like terrible about it that sticks out in your mind, like when I read Little Stranger, but there's nothing really redeemable? It's like everything that happened in that book is already out of my mind. Like, I've already forgotten. I already don't care. The second half, we're just continuing to basically try to figure out what is happening. I wanted it to be, like, more campy, like, the pageant queens are killing each other, slasher vibes. But it was really just, like, what happened to this girl's sister, and, like, are they trying to sabotage each other? And it was just very, like, a suburban drama, is more so what it felt like, and I couldn't stand it. So now we have 2 2-stars and a 3-star, which is miserable. And with that, we're going to move in to Hunter x Hunter Volume 3. This is my favorite anime. I've never read through the manga, but I have been, like, very slow. I literally only own the first 5 volumes working through this. And I know this will be a 5-star, and then I think I'm going to follow this up with Chamber of Secrets, because it's getting late in the day. It's about 7 o'clock, so we're almost halfway through, and we're having nothing but flops. So I feel like this is going to take me like 15 minutes to read. It'll be a 5-star. And then Harry Potter will probably take me like 3 hours, Harry Potter 2. And that'll also be a 5-star. And then we will see where I want to go from that. I have 2 books that are on my TBR from when I pulled my TBR, these 2. That I had not slotted into a video, but I just got the audio for both of them. So I might go back to audio whenever I'm starting to get tired so that I can work, because I feel like if I'm working and audioing at the same time, that will prevent me from being too sleepy. So these are also some late night options for us. I'll probably go with this one just because reading spooky stuff like in my office by myself at night doesn't seem like the vibe, but we'll see where the wind takes us. Okay, y'all, we finished Hunter very quickly. It took literally like 20 minutes. 5 stars, of course. we're still obviously continuing the Hunter exam. We are at the point where they're at like the majority rules voting scenario, and they're at like the final like real battle in there where they're battling different prisoners. So we got to see Kurapika, we did see Hisoka, but Kurapika, Leorio, and Killua do their little battles. And then now we're in the part where they're like in the forest and they're each hunting each other. They had to pull a number, and Gon is trying to hunt down Hisoka. So that was that. Very quick and easy. And I'm one chapter into Harry Potter. It was really hard to read this physically. I'm also annotating it while I read it because that was like my point of getting these like sprayed edges ones, was to like highlight and stuff. But it was really hard to read physically because I also am trying to not like crack the spine while eating spaghetti. It was tricky, but I got through one chapter. This book is like about the same length as the audiobook I listened to, Pretty Dead Things. Pretty Dead Things had like 90 chapters. This has only 18, so that is a little bit scary. But we are going to, I've been avoiding being in bed for this scenario because that's dangerous. But I fear it's that time. I fear I need to get cozy in bed. I also kind of want to take a shower, so I might do that. That's my plan. The Chamber of Secrets has been opened. Enemies of the Air, beware. We have finished Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. I did like light annotations, mainly just highlighting throughout this book, but I did finish it, gave it 5 stars as per usual. If you are living under the biggest fucking rock that's ever existed, this is book 2 in the Harry Potter series. This is about Harry Potter, his second year at Hogwarts, when he's kind of being warned to not go to school by this house elf named Dobby, that something bad is going to happen. He gets there, all these threatening things start happening, including a bunch of people and creatures getting petrified and threatening messages being written in blood on the wall saying, and the Chamber of Secrets has been opened, enemies of the air beware. So he and his ragtag group of friends are trying to figure out what this means, what the Chamber of Secret is, who's the heir, what's going on. Harry comes face to face again with Lord Voldemort in a different method, destroys the first Horcrux, and saves the day. So that's that on that. I am about to start the audio for Give Me Butterflies. I feel like I have not had like a hee hee ha ha romance. I read Queen Move, but that was like a very serious romance. I don't know if this is gonna be a little hee hee ha ha. We will see. This says, Millie has never taken the expected path. Her childhood love for bugs and science led her to entomology, and her role as a curator inspiring museum visitors every day. It's her dream to run her own department, so when a rare director position opens, she is determined nothing will distract her from her goal, especially not Finn, her grumpy coworker with his permanent scowl, electric blue eyes, and endless supply of astronomy ties. Not that she spent time noticing any of those things. Finn doesn't mean to glare at everyone, but he's juggling his role as a museum navigating the grief of losing his sister, attempting to make his nieces smile, and trying not to ruin dinner for the 5th night in a row. He couldn't afford to let anything slip and certainly doesn't need more to deal with, especially not Millie, literally stumbling into him with her bright smile and sunny optimism. He bugs her, she's too starry-eyed for him, and they can't deny their attraction, but can they afford to risk their hearts? So we're gonna get into this one now. I'll for sure finish this audio, and then depending on where I'm at, I'll either do another audio or I will read the Lucinda Berry book physically. It just kind of depends on how I am feeling. I am getting a little bit sleepy. We are at a little past midnight. 2 o'clock marks our 75% of the way done. My husband's alarm to get up for work is literally before I am gonna be going to bed, which is crazy business, but I feel pretty committed and pretty good. I haven't even had that much caffeine today. I had 1 Diet Coke, like a bottle of Diet Coke, and then I had a small fountain soda. But other than that, it's just been water, and I've had a Sprite, but I'm feeling pretty decent. I just had an apple with some peanut butter and chocolate chips. That's been like one of my favorite little sweet treats, and I'm back to working. I feel like that's gonna help me really stay awake. I just took like a 10-minute break chatting with the girls. Mainly all day it's been like a combination of me, Teresa, Siobhan, and Shanna. Shanna has departed the building because her boyfriend was going to bed. I am now banished from the bedroom because Chris is going to bed. Siobhan's gonna finish listening to Dungeon Crawler Carl, and then she's going to bed, and Teresa's gonna try to stick it through. Her kid is also like teenager kid is kind of hanging with us as well. So Haley, if you're watching this, hey. Yeah, so everything is going good so far. I'm glad to have a couple of wins behind our belt, and I think that I'm going to really like this. I was going between this and Hex House, but I know that the book after this I really want to read is the Lucinda book, and that's a thriller, and I just feel like this is what I need right now. So let's give her a go while we continue working. I have the audio ready from Libby, and we're gonna just jump right on into it. Oh, I forgot to turn one of my lamps on. We've got so many lights up in this bitch. And let's go. Okay guys, it's officially 2 a.m., which means we are exactly 75% of the way through this challenge. We're down to just me and Teresa. Siobhan had to bail because she was a sleepy girl. And I am about halfway through this book and I'm loving it. So in this book, we've got our main character, Millie. And Millie is an entomologist, so she studies bugs, and she is currently vying for this position at this museum. We start the book out with her like going for this interview where she runs into this guy Finn in the elevator. Turns out he is going to be one of the like people possibly interviewing her, and the whole thing is that there's two people who are both quite qualified for this job, so they're going to have them each work for a month to see how it goes. She is also helping head this like summer camp at the museum for like the different kids. Then we have Finn, who is currently raising his two twin nieces after his sister died of cancer. He has kind of a toxic relationship with his family. They're very like bitter that his sister wanted him to care for the nieces rather than like the parents, but she knew they were toxic and didn't want that for her daughters. So he is raising them. So that's its own like can of worms. And throughout this first half of the book, we really get to see Millie and Finn start to become friends, especially during that summer camp scenario. Whenever he's bringing his nieces there, she initially thinks that he has kids, finds out like the story of what happened, and she really takes like a shining to the kids. One thing leads to another, and she ends up going over to their house to help him cook dinner because he's really bad at cooking. So she's giving him some cooking lessons, and then this turns into like, oh, like they make dinner, and then he like had made cookies, and she's like, I'm gonna tell you right now, these cookies suck. And he's like, well, next Friday you'll have to come and teach us how to make cookies. So now every Friday she's going over and teaching them how to make something, and is really like developing this relationship with his two nieces, Avery and what's the other one's name? Avery and Eloise. So Avery is a lot more shy than Eloise, and even Avery is really taking a liking to Millie. And so he's really getting to try to like decide, he's trying to figure out if this is like good for them, not good for them, while as Millie is trying to keep like a friendship boundary with him because he is on this committee to help her, or to that will determine if she gets this job or not. She doesn't want it to even be implied that she slept her way to the job, because that's how men ran fields are, is that if a woman becomes successful, there's always that like idea, which is so fucking cringe, but it is true. And so I just love getting to see her relationship with Avery and Eloise, and getting to see her really care for them. There's like this whole part about him like watching YouTube videos to try to do a French braid, and then he's sick, and like she like makes him soup, and he wakes up and the girl's hair is French braided, and it's something like he's really been struggling to like do for them. Oh, it's just been really cute. Also getting to see how Millie's friends and family really include him and his girls into their family. Like she has these game nights where they play Catan, and he goes over with the girls, and like just seeing how welcomed they all were. And now she's she's gonna be going home for her parents' like birthday party, and he's like, they're on a call, and his mom's like, her mom's like, oh my god, my brain. Her mom is like, come, bring the girls, the more the merrier, bring them to the farm, it'll be great. And so getting him to like be able to rebuild this new family involving Millie when he's had such kind of like shitty relationships with his family or has lost his sister is really beautiful. Where we are at halfway, Millie just found out, which is a bit of a spoiler, so sorry, but Millie found out that she's been trying to keep these boundaries with him, but literally, the day that she came over to help them learn how to make homemade pizza is the same day he stepped down from the hiring committee because he knew he was done for because of her relationship with his nieces. So far, this is really good and I'm having an amazing time. Okay guys, it is 4:30. I just finished my like orders that I needed to do. If you do not know, I do have a small business where I make stickers. Please check it out. But I have finished Give Me Butterflies, and this is without a doubt gonna be a 4-star read. This is so good, and I'm very excited for book 2 in this series. It's about Millie's sister Fable, which is one of the names of the NPCs in my current D&D campaign, which is very funny. But I literally got a canker sore. It hurts really bad, but anywho, so we have finished this, the second half. Really, there was no like crazy third act breakup. Like every issue seemed real. So we learned in the second half that the person that Millie is vying for this position against is her fucking ex. So there is this whole like situation with that, but everything about it felt very realistic and was like handled very maturely, which I loved. So yeah, 4 stars. I am hitting a wall. It is that time. 4 to 5, 5 to 6, 6 to 7. We only have 3.5 hours left. So we're gonna make it through. And I just grabbed the audio for Phantom Limb by Lucinda because I don't think I could physically read right now and not fall asleep. I am gonna work on stuff for my book journal. I don't think it's gonna take me all that long, so I might do that and then just like play The Sims because I need something to like actively be doing while I am reading. Otherwise we are gonna fall asleep. If you think that's cheating, that's fine, but this is what we're gonna go with next. And the audio for this is 7 hours, and I do listen at 3 times speed, so that would be like 2 hours and 20 minutes. Then we'd have about 40 minutes left. So if that's the case, I may just like pop on one of those like Amazon short bullshits that are usually like not good, but I'm gonna try to find something really short to fill that extra time. Or I have 2 more manga I could read. I'm not really like in the mood for that, so we will see where the wind takes us. But we have options because like those Amazon whatever bullshits are an option. I am going to eat a snack. I'm not particularly hungry, but I think it will help. So that's that on that. I have got some lightly salted potato chips and some onion dip. And I think a snack is like helpful, but I think like this is gonna be successful. And depending on if you guys like this, like maybe this is something we can do like once a quarter. Definitely like not once a month, but like once a quarter. This is something we could do. It's really funny. My husband, his like alarm to get up for work is like earlier than I'm going to bed, which is crazy business, but it's like fine. I can actually, there goes my book, turn the foiler off because we're done with that for the day. I don't need that. I don't need that anymore because everything else I'm doing for my book journal is fan art and quotes. I've already done all of the like foiled bits and bobs, so that's cool. I'm gonna pause. There's this website that's called Board Game Arena where you can like play board games but like virtually. So I think I'm gonna like start my book, play a game on there while listening to my audio, and yeah, just go from there. We've got all of our deco sheets for my book journal done. So, I'm working on the quotes now, but I'm going to take a break because I have plenty of time, and I'm just going to toss on Phantom Limb. Yeah, Goodreads. I know I finished that. Yeah, it's 7 hours, 6 hours and 55 minutes. So, this is where we're gonna go. You guys are gonna die, so I'll see you when I see you. Hater Hannah is back in the chat. I'm giving this book 3 stars, unfortunately. I know. It actually really tracks that my friend who liked this a lot would like it and I wouldn't like it, because she is okay with gore. I am not, and one of my only triggers is like blood, self-harm, those types of things, and this book is so chock full of self-harm that it was like really hard for me to read. But this is about these 2 twins, Emily and Elizabeth, and they grew up in a horrible situation where they're constantly being abused by their mother in a variety of ways, including letting her special friends pay them a visit, if you catch my drift. Really horrible, horrible things. And now we're following them years later. One of the twins, Elizabeth, seems to be the more like functional one, whereas Emily is really like deeply in self-harm and suicidal ideations and those kind of things, and is not doing well. And so Emily dies and Elizabeth wakes up at the mental hospital, kind of all topsy-turvy, not really knowing what's going on. She thinks that Emily just died, but she actually died 2 years ago, and so we're kind of following her as she's coming to it more and understanding her mental illness and figuring out what really happened to her and her sister to get us there. This is very short. It's only like 250 pages, so I don't really want to say much else because I do feel like it's going to be a spoiler. The twist at the end I saw coming, so that like did not get me, unfortunately. But it is what it is. We read it. 3 stars. It's done. Now I have this awkward, I have like an hour. And so I did download The Exception to the Rule or something by Christina Lauren. It is a Valentine's Day short story. It says it's a 140-minute read, so at 3 times speed will be about 40 minutes. So I'm gonna get that started. I'm gonna make my husband's lunch because I do like to do that for him. And then that'll be all she wrote. And I'm fucking pooped. Well, friends, I finished The Exception to the Rule, and it was really cute. So it was kind of difficult on audio, though, because it was told mainly through emails. So there's this guy, Callum, and this girl, Tara, maybe? They use, like, they didn't use their names for most of the book, so yeah, it doesn't even say it in the thing, because they literally never say they do say it, but it's told through emails, and they're, like, not wanting to tell each other their real names. But basically, it's emails back and forth where they accidentally email each other. It's like they just go by T and C. And C accidentally emails T on Valentine's Day, and then it becomes this tradition. This is when they're, like, I think 16 and 14. Then every year on Valentine's Day, they just email each other, Happy Valentine's Day. And it's just like they developed this friendship over these years via email, and then all these years later they happen to stumble upon each other, and then whenever T is telling C about her like night and the funny thing that happened, he's like, no shit, like that's her. And then they end up meeting, and we flash forward and they get married, and it was cute. But I got up and got ready and started this I got up at 7:30 yesterday and I clocked on at 7:45. And it is now, you guys can't see that. There you go, 7:50. So that means I'm out, y'all. I did it. I'm tired. And I'm going to bed. Yeah. Thanks for being here. We were able to get through quite a few things, which is exciting. We got through. Wrong direction. We got through Hallowpeen. That feels like 84 years ago. 2 stars. Queen Move. 3 stars. Pretty Dead Things. 2 stars. Hunter x Hunter and Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets were both 5 stars. Give Me Butterflies, 4 stars. Phantom Limb, 3 stars. And then The Exception to the Rule. Is that what this is called? Yeah, that's also 4 stars. So that's going to be everything, friends. Bye.